Hey guys, I was talking to one of my American friends recently about something that we see in the American media and on the internet a lot, reference to America being the leader of the world. And we had a pretty interesting discussion about it, and I just wanted some ideas from you guys, or some thoughts from you guys about what you think. But some of the things that we were talking about was, one is, America, and lots of Americans often talk about, democracy and so on. And if we say that America is the leader of the world, less than 5% of the world's population are actually American. So if we look at it from a democratic point of view, it's not really possible for less than 5% of a population to democratically declare themselves leader of a group. So for less than 5% of the world's population to declare themselves leaders of the world is obviously not democratic. I mean, it would only take India or China to say, no, you're not, and it's game over. So there's 95% of the world, or more than 95% of the world's not American. So we can't really democratically say that America is leader of the world. America does have the biggest GDP, so I guess we could say that they have the materials to dominate the world, maybe, which would be a different thing. We could say America's the dominator of the world, which is sort of like a Roman idea, I guess. But that's not what we say, or it's not what is said. And I know not all Americans say this, because my American friend is pretty liberal-minded. He doesn't live in America, and he's seen other countries, and he's seen other news sources, and he's seen other ways of thinking. So he doesn't actually subscribe to that America is the leader of the world thing. He doesn't say that. He doesn't agree with that. So yeah, it's an interesting thought. And also when it comes to political stuff or even military stuff, I mean, America obviously can say what they're going to do. Places like Iraq are a good example of that, where the UN say, no, it's too early for military action, but America says, no, we're going anyway, and they go. And then some of their allies do follow and say, yeah, okay, we'll go with you. But once again, they're not really leading the world and saying, now we are all attacking Iraq, or, and other examples like that. So, I think in some areas we could say maybe American medicine leads the world in developments or something like that. I'm not sure if that's true, but there's probably examples of different groups in America, like scientists or doctors or whatever, that lead the world in one field. They might lead the world in heart surgery or something like that, but then you could also say that Japan leads the world in cars, because Toyota's the biggest selling car in the world. Or you could say Italians lead the world in cars because they make Ferrari, or Germans because they make BMW and Mercedes, maybe, if they still do. But you know what I mean, there's probably elements of what humanity creates that you could say America leads the world in. But to say America is the leader of the world, or to say, we sometimes hear the American president referred to, usually only by Americans, as leader of the free world. Now, what is the free world exactly? Is that countries that aren't allied with America? Once again, leader of the free world, well, he was only elected by less than 5% of the world's population. So we can't democratically say he's leader of the free world. We can say he's leader of America. But once again, we can't democratically say he's leader of the world. And if we want to refer to American might, which is often what people that argue that point say, well, America's got the military, okay, sort of like the Roman thing, I guess. We could say the President of America is the dictator of the world, if we want to try and use that military argument, but he'd be a dictator. He wouldn't be a democratically elected leader of the world, because he was only elected by less than 3% of the world's population elected him as American president. So yeah, so I'm interested to hear. I know we'll get the extremists here, that generally people that haven't travelled outside their own country and that don't know much other than what they've seen on Fox or you know, American news services. I know what those guys will say, but I'm interested in the more moderate views, particularly from Americans. And actually, if you're going to leave a comment, please tell us what country you're from, just so that it puts your comment in perspective. Because I've seen some, I've heard some very rational, reasonable comments from people from all countries, including America, about this subject, and I'm interested to know. So please tell us what you think. Is America the leader of the world, and is the American president the leader of the free world? And if they are, why? And then yeah, just tell us what country you're from as well, and that will help put it in perspective. And I think it'll be interesting to see what the world thinks of that premise. So looking forward to reading your comments.